الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We continue inshallah ta'ala with the fasl or the chapter of Ash-Sharika or partnership from the book of Akhsar Al-Mokhtasarat. And we took the first two, which is Sharikat Inan and Al-Mudaraba. And as you see inshallah ta'ala with the different types of the partnership, it's the two variables, if it's correct to say, is the human being and the money. So partnership either with the people or with the money or with both. So that's why Sharikat Al-Inan is both money and individuals. So each one or more than one person, two or more, will have this partnership with their work, and their money is being put in that partnership or that company. So it's with both oneself and one's money. And the ribh or the profit will be accordingly whatever they decide and the percentages that they have with their effort and their money. And the next one, which is al-mudaraba, and also we covered that. Al-mudaraba, which is well known, here is someone would be a partner with his expertise or effort or work versus someone with his money. So this is, as he says, وهي دفع مال معين معلوم. It has conditions to it as it's mentioned. So it has to be money being paid, and it's a very specific one, and it's well known, the specific and the amount of money for the one that will use the money and with his effort, his work. So someone works and someone invests with his money. And the profit will be also divided between them, whether it's two or more, according to the percentage that they decide or they agreed upon. Then he says, let me get to the page. That's why the physical books have so much barakah in it. These types of scrolling things. Which طبعة you have? Okay, I'm still in the wakala. Okay, now I'm getting close. Oh, here's the Sharika. Okay, so now he says الثالث. Now the third type of Sharika is شركة الوجوه. شركة الوجوه. I'll read it first if you follow inshallah. He says وهي أن يشترك في ربح ما يشتريان في ذممهما بجاهيهما وكل وكيل الآخر وكفيله بالثمن. شركة الوجوه, and we should inshallah ta'ala at least remember or memorize the terminologies. So we said شركة عنان and شركة مضاربة المضاربة, and the third one, which is الوجوه, and then we'll take still the rest inshallah. So شركة الوجوه, الوجوه is the plural of وجه, and وجه is face, right? So what does it mean? It's basically when someone, the wajh here refers to someone's value as a human being. He is trusted in the market. People would give him loans, or they would make him purchase things without paying right up front because he's well known, he's a big merchant, they dealt with him before. So this has value in the market. So someone wants to be a partner with this guy, with that person, so that they be able to get some ease with issues of money transactions and things like this. So that's why it's people will get to be partners with one another. There is amal, there's action or work to be done, and they call it, instead of the money, it's the dhimma. Remember the word dhimma? Is when someone in his dhimma, that means in his something that is deferred, so it's not something cash. When someone has in his dhimma, that means he has a financial responsibility to give to someone. So when you see, remember when we talked about al-bay', buying and selling, either you sell something and you get your money right away, or you sell something في الذمة. The dhimma, that means you didn't pay all the money upfront. So that means there's still money deferred that you can pay later. So this money is your responsibility to pay, right? But you didn't pay it yet, which is valid. So sharikatul wujuh is when someone would work and the other one, he is a partner with his status that he can take, for example, items without paying cash. So he's not getting into the company with money. He's getting into the company with his ability to bring items from his own trustworthiness in the market. So this is what it says, al-wujuh. That means his value or his dhimma, that he has financial responsibilities that people will trust him with that. Which the definition, to make it clear, وهي أن يشترك في ربح, that means they will be partners. يشترك in the مثنى, in the dual tense. في ربح, meaning in the profit. في ربح ما يشتريان, what they would both purchase, because they're in a partnership. So they would both purchase something to sell it with profit. So both or more, of course, they would purchase and they would share the profit of what they purchase. في ذممهما. So that means they did not purchase it and pay money for it, but they purchased it without paying anything yet. They'll pay later. So the responsibility is upon both of them or one of them, according to what they are stated in the partnership. So they would purchase something في الذمة. They would purchase something as a deferred purchasing. The payment is not paid immediately. He says here بجاهيهما. This is why it's mentioned wujuh. Al-jah is the status of the person, his honor among people, right? So this is the jah. بجاهيهما. So this is basically this is what is their credit to the people, or this is their value in the market. You understand what I'm trying to say? So for example, if you have, a big company, that is well known and things like this as a company, or someone that is well known in the market of selling cars, he has a big car dealer. When he goes to get cars from the manufacturer, for example, they know the guy. So he doesn't have to give all the money because his credit is very strong. Let's say it like this. So they will give him whatever he wants and pay later. They're not worried about it. So someone in that status and someone else like him, they can form another partnership, and the partnership is based on they both have status. They both they can bring items without paying it in cash, and then they sell it, they purchase it, and they own it, right? And they would sell it and they would share the profit based on their status. So someone is big and someone is small. So they would get into the company, I get 75% and you get 25%. Why? Because he would get items. Say, for example, the company is worth 100,000. He would get 75,000 worth of merchandise without paying anything. But that's how much it's worth. That becomes his liability, has to pay it. And the other one, because of his status to others, he will bring what's worth 25. So the profits will be 75 to 25, according to how much dhimma, how much responsibility they get into the company. So this is because of their jah, because of their status. So this is what it says, وَهِيَ أَنْ يَشْتَرِكَ فِي رِبْحِ مَا يَشْتَرِيَانِ. They would be partners in the profit of what they would purchase. فِي ذِمَمِهِمَا. So في الذمة, as we said, when someone purchased something في الذمة, that means he didn't pay it yet. It's deferred. And the dhimma is what's the little word of a dhimma? One's being, but it's one's trust, one's being, one's responsibility. When someone says في ذمتي كذا, I have this upon myself that I would do this or do that or pay this. بجاهيهما, this is مثنى, al-jah is one. So with their jah. And the jah, sometimes even the sultan is called al-jah. Someone that has authority, he has jah or status. His name is known. وكل وكيل الآخر, both of them, each one of them, وكل, each one of them, وكيل الآخر, is wakil to the other one because they're partners. So one will be wakil, he will act on behalf on the other of the other one because they're partners. So one of them will go and purchase and says, so and so is my partner. So he's acting on his behalf to get items with on the credit on the other of the other one. So he's acting on his behalf because they're both partners. وكفيله بالثمن, and he is kafil. That means he will, the kafala. That means if when it comes to the money, both of them, they will be, if someone is not able to bring the money, the other one will. So they're both, because they're in partnership. So even though one of them, he brought the items because of his status and his credit to other companies, but since they are partners, if he's not able to, then the other one, of course, he will share because they're partners together in this. Right? So this is Sharikat al-Wujuh. So as we said, this is, they both, if it's two people, they both have to work. They have to be part of the company. Not one would be partners with his name only. It doesn't work that way. If two people, someone is very well established in the market and someone else is not. So the one that is well established in the market, he will say to the other one, go purchase things on my behalf. That means because of my name. And that's it. He's just using his name. And he has nothing to do with it. This is not valid. This is not permissible. So the one that has that value or that name, he has to be part of the partnership. He has to put the effort. That means it's both would work in this. Of course, when people have the franchises and things like this is different because this is where the government or the laws would allow this, and it has a value by itself. So this is different because they put a value to it. So one would act on the other one. So the dain or the debt that one incur upon the company, both are responsible for it because they're partners. Is it clear? This is the meaning of the last statement. Do you have the English part when I talked about the dhimma? No. Do they have a name for it? Again, it's my fault. I should have checked the English legal terms for these things. Do they have a name for it? It's something they like again, if when something like the trademark or someone has a value in the market. But the point of it is, it's all on the dhimma. They would take things as a loan. Reputation. Oh, mashallah. Okay, I've been looking for that word. So someone is a partner in the company with his reputation in the market, but he does work, not just the reputation. So he has to be an active partner in the company. But why they got him into the company? Because of his reputation. And as a result of his reputation, he's going to get things without paying cash because he's well respected and he has his reputation in the market. Clear? So again, we read again, Sharikatul Wujuh, and this is what Al-Wujuh comes, his jah, his status. وهي أن يشترك both or more في ربح. They would be partners in the profit of what they purchase في ذممهما. That means it's deferred. بجاهيهما. Both they have reputation in the market. وكل وكيل الآخر. And each one is wakil. He acts as an agent for the other one. وكفيله بالثمن. And they're both responsible for the debt. So not just the one that went and got it because they're both partners in it. And this is where the kafala that we mentioned it before. So, no.
Usually, sell something,
Hmm.
but this is separate because they gave their word
they own it, right? So, right, this is a very good point. What has been said here is you cannot sell something unless you own it. So when you purchase something and you didn't pay anything and it's deferred, you own that item. You didn't even pay a penny for it. That's fine, but it's yours. And then the money that you owe is a debt on you. Has nothing to do with the merchandise. Right? So you own it and you can sell it. You can do whatever you want to do with it. And that loan is separate. Then it basically what is the money that you didn't pay is just in the category of a loan, a debt. So in here in this partnership, they purchased it. They would purchase the items. And this is actually has to be very clear. So if they work based on their reputation, they don't purchase it. They just get it in their possession and they sell it and then they give the money. The words are very important. And in that case, they're selling something that they don't own, or they're acting on behalf of the other person, which is wakala, as an agent. That's not what we're saying here. Right? So this is sharikatul wujuh. That means they would own, they would purchase, and it becomes in their possession, but they didn't pay anything yet because it's a debt on them. And the reason why they get it is because of their reputation in the market. Clear? The fourth type, we have two more. Sharikatul abdan. Sharikat al-abdan. So al-abdan is the plural of al-badan. Badan is the body, the physical body of a human being. Right? So this is what al-badan is. So sharikatul abdan, as it's clear, then we can understand what's the nature of it, is people will get partners with one another only with their physical bodies, not with money. Not with money. So what is the definition of it? وهي أن يشترك. And that is يشترك, both of them will be partners فيما يتملكان بأبدانهما من مباح. They would be partners in what they own by their physical body من مباح, from something permissible, كاصطياد ونحوه, like fishing or hunting. So two fishermen, right, will be partners in whatever they get today or every day. This is for both of them. They have a company together. They have partnership together. No money is put in this company or this partnership. It's only their physical effort. So whether it's كاصطياد ونحوه or carpenters, plumbers, whatever, someone opens a carpentry company or plumbing business. So him and his buddy or his friend, they're both good in plumbing, right? There's no money put in the plate in the thing, and both of them are working, or four working, whatever, how many people. So if someone calls, we need some plumbing work to be done, one of them would go, and the money that comes is not only for him, it's for the company. Right? So, and this is basically what it is. And there's some details to the rulings of it. So when we see وَهِيَ أَنْ يَشْتَرِكَ فِيمَا يَتَمَلَّكَانِ, يشترك means, in the dual tense, al-ishtirak, as we said, is to be partners in something. Like a shirk, partnership. فِيمَا يَتَمَلَّكَانِ, in what they own. Own of what? Meaning money that they would own. They would be partners in the money that they make. Each one will be part of the company بأبدانهما, by their abdan, and abdanihima in the dual tense, both of their physical actions, by they earned it by their, not by their money, but their body. من مباح, something has to be halal, of course, not something haram. مباح meaning permissible. The kaf here is like, as an example, اصطياد كاصطياد ونحوه, like fishing and the like of it. We continue, says أو يتقبلان في ذممهما من عمل كخياطة, or يتقبلان في ذممهما, they would accept في ذممهما. What ذممهما? الذمة. So in their responsibility, they would accept with their responsibility something that means it's not going to be done now. So they would accept, each one of them, both of them, they would accept من عمل, in action, كخياطة, like sewing something. So they both sew clothing, coats, for example, right? And they both do the work. So someone comes, I want to make a coat like this, sure, no problem. So it's not going to be done immediately. So they would make the contract of that person that wants a coat, and they would work on it. So they accept that contract or that deal, both of them or whatever in the company, in their dhimma. So if they make the deal and the guy paid down payment or whatever there is, then he goes and he leaves. Then both are responsible as a company to get this done, not the one that got the deal, because they're a company, they're partners in it. So this is exactly the same thing, but it's kind of a slightly different of how they deal with their own ways. So it's the first one is that they earn something by their work, like fishing or fixing something, and they take money and so on, versus they would build something or they would sew something or build a house or something like this for someone. So the work is not to be done immediately. So it's going to be in their responsibility to finish it later. So not just one, but both of them will be responsible for it. Right. So, and here the word يتقبلان, that means they accept. So to accept the amal, to accept the work, to accept the work. So that means they will accept the work. That means it's both are liable for it. They have to get it done. Right. So this is, as you'd see, also this will be in the chapter of renting and work, and when you hire someone for work, right? Is there something in the dhimma? No, he accepts. When the first day of work, he didn't do anything yet, but he accepts the deal that he's going to be hired to work a certain job, and then at the end he will get, at the end of the month or at the end of his job, he will get money. So the deal started by what? By accepting. You understand? So أو يتقبلان في ذممهما من عمل كخياطة. Like so, you have a question? The second? يتقبلان. يتقبلان. And this is in the dual tense, مثنى, for both of them. يتقبل is for one. Like إنما يتقبل الله من المتقين. As the Quran says, indeed Allah accepts from the people of taqwa. So يتقبل, al-qabul is acceptance. So يتقبلان, that means they both accept. Yes. Right.
But is there any additional point, like work or work later? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. As long as the partner here is, this is just a differentiation between the one that has money in it. Nobody puts money. The company is just working partnership. So it doesn't matter if you work later, and it's actually is going to be the next mas'ala. What if someone, he got the job today, he's the one that went out and fishing, and he got the fish and he sell it. The next day he's the same one also that did it. This is all partnership for both, not just for the one that worked. And they would share it according to their what they agree upon. But then it says afterwards, فما تقبله أحدهما. We're continuing the qabul part. Whoever accept, if one of them accept the deal or the project or the contract, someone accept the contract of a plumbing project, one of them accepted it. فما تقبله أحدهما, one of them, لزمهما عمله. Both of them, they are liable for getting it done, which is an obvious thing because they are one company, they are partners. Of course, they would discuss with each other, but again, it's not an individual thing, it's a partnership. So if someone accepts it, then both of them, they're responsible for getting it done. لزمهما عمله. اللزوم here, that means it's binding upon them. They have to do it. وطولب, this is all muthanna, this is all dual tense. Inshallah, when you good for the Arabic language, inshallah. We have to, part of what we study, inshallah, in the intensive courses, the difference between mufrad and muthanna wal jam, singular, dual, and the plural. So here, tuliba. Tuliba, that means they will be asked, both for it. A talab is when you ask from someone. And this is in the passive tense. It means they will be asked for it. Both of them, not one. Right? Because they are in a company, they are partnership. Here's now the point. Are we following? So far it's clear. We'll repeat again, inshallah. وإن ترك أحدهما العمل لعذر أو لا فالكسب بينهما. وإن ترك. In is an if statement. So أحدهما, one of them. وإن ترك أحدهما, if one of them leaves, ترك, leaves العمل. He left the work. He did not do the work. One of them accepted the contract or the job. So that means both of them are responsible for it. But then once he accepted it, one of them quit. Or he didn't go to the work. He refused to do it. Or he had an excuse. Well, that's why he says, لِعُذْرٍ أَوْ لَا. He had an excuse. One of them had an excuse. He gets sick, busy, he's not able to do it. أَوْ لَا, or without an excuse. So then what to do with this in this case? He said, فَالْكَسْبُ بَيْنَهُمَا. Al-kasbu baynahuma, that means the profit is also between them because it's a company. So both they would share the profit. But then what is the case here? وَيَلْزَمُ مِنْ عُذْرٍ أَوْ لَمْ يَعْرِفِ الْعَمَلَ أَنْ يُقِيمَ مَقَامَهُ بِطَلَبِ شَرِيكٍ. وَيَلْزَمُ, that means it's binding. It's وَيَلْزَمُ مِنْ عُذْرَ مَنْ عُذِرَ, sorry. من عذر ويلزم من عذر, right? This is how, again, you have to understand before you read. ويلزم من عذر. What يلزم mean? Binding upon the one that عذر. عذر means the one that is excused. He had an excuse, right? أو لم يعرف العمل, or he did not know how to do the job. This is a very specific work that this is not his expertise, right? They partners in fixing cars, but part of the job is not his expertise, right? So either he has an excuse, that's why he's not able to do the job, one of them, or he doesn't know how to do it, or he is not going to do it. Doesn't matter whether it's excuse or no excuse. So then he says يلزم أن يقيم مقامه بطلب شريك. أن يقيم مقامه. That one that is not able to do the job, يلزم is upon him that he has to bring someone to do the job. بطلب شريك, when his partner will ask him for this. What if the partner doesn't ask him to do it? Then he has no liability on him because the partner is okay with it. But that means that the partner has the right to tell him, and that's going to be in the contract between them as partners, right? So they would write this down. In case of one is not able to do the job that they both incurred upon themselves by one or the other, doesn't have, a person would say, but I didn't agree to this. Doesn't matter. Because if one agreed, then it's binding upon the other. And since they are partners in this, so if he's not able to do it, he has an excuse, or he doesn't have an excuse, then the other partner has the right to ask him, well, if you're not going to do it, bring someone else to do it from your end. So, and if he's going to bring it, that means it's upon him to bring it. And then whenever profit comes, it will be according to the partnership. It will be divided between them both, and then you can give to that outsourced guy or that third person whatever he gave him for. Yeah, you understand? So this is in the case of one is not able to do his part, because again, it's the sharika to abdan. So you see, the first one was what? Al-inan was both work and money. Partners in work and money. Al-mudaraba, one with work and one with money. After that we said al-wujuh, which is both with work, but work with their dhimma, with their reputation. Number 4 here is Al-Abdan, both work. Partnership, there's no money involved here. There's a partnership in the partner, but rather it's their work. You can do that, I guess, also, for example, in IT, right? Both are expertise in IT. They make a company. How do they make the company? You guys can help me out with that. If you make a company, 4 or 5 brothers, they're experts in IT, right? And they make a company, and then they look for projects. They can write in the company, whether someone is the head of the company, has the rights to do whatever he wants, or all of them, they have the right to bring projects into the company. If someone make the contract, then it's binding upon all of them. And if someone refused to work or someone doesn't know how to do the job, right, either they would divide the work between them. This time, if nobody says anything, they're still part of the, if it's the only project that they have, right, they still partners in the profit. And he can do something else. He can fix some coffee and tea or something. But I mean, he's still with them, right? But if he's not able to do it, and they don't say anything, he still share the profit with them. Or they can be in the contract that if he's not able to do that specific work, he has to outsource it to someone, outsource his portion to someone, and he pays that someone, he take care of that someone, because at the end the profit will be shared upon all of them, among all of them. Is it clear? So this is, again, the partnership here is about al-abdan, no money involved. It is people with expertise. And you can name anything, teaching, getting together teachers, one physics, one chemistry, one this, and they bring a student that would learn all of these things together, or one or the other, according to how they want to deal with it. Even if they're teaching different things. One would teach physics, one would teach chemistry. What if 10 people come for physics? It's a partnership. They share the profit. Unless they say, well, we're individuals in this. Then they're not partners then. You understand?
Business owners actually working partner or active.
Right. And when you say he owns the business, is there money involved? When people are all, someone is a working partner, if he's someone that owns a company and there's money involved and he's a working partner and the rest, they didn't put money, so this is not Sharikat Abdan. Because one has money and work and the rest they have work only. So it's just to categorize the company. What is it called? So this can be in the subject of al-inan or a mudaraba if one with money versus one with work. But al-abdan here is when only work. So they're all working from home, right? So there's no money being put in to initiate the company. And also with this, if someone, he's the one that had the ability to form the company, or he's the one that has more reputation than others to bring the work, they can divide the profit, not the same. One will get more than the others because he has more reputation. Or he might form a group and he's the head of it and he gives them salary. So this is, not partnership in that case. Or he can give them percentage and, so things can be all according to what they agree. But the reason why this is mentioned, that this is just to see the different types of companies, and it doesn't have to be only this. It can be anything that people would agree upon, as long as there's nothing is haram in it. So this is al-abdan. Is it clear? Let's take the fifth one and then we read it again to make sure that every word is clear. Al-khamis, what is left? We took all the variables, right? Inan is what? What's sharkatu inan? Labor and money, right? And mudaraba? One's money and one's money and one's work. And wujuh, both were reputation. So there's no cash money is being paid. And then the abdan, all working, labor. And then now the fifth one is al-mufawada. شركة المفاوضة. المفاوضة, you know التفويض. What's a تفويض? When you, no, that's why it's المفاوضة, they use the word المفاوضة in nowadays, according to the context, they say negotiation, but it's not really means that. It comes from التفويض. When someone says فوضت أمري إلى الله وأفوض أمري إلى الله. When Yaqub alayhi salam, he said, what does that mean? That I put my affairs to Allah. I rely upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He subhanahu wa ta'ala will take care of me. Right? So what is a tafweed here? When you make tafweed to a human being, it's like the wakala, kind of a wakala, but it's more. That you say, all of my affairs to this guy. I mean, whatever he wants to do, he can do. Anything that he wants to do in my money, in my whatever work, he has the right to do it. But of course, it's not like this. So let's see the definition. شركة المفاوضة. So this is the noun of it, المفاوضة. وهي definition أن يفوض. This is the verb. أن يفوض. That he would make تفويض. كل إلى صاحبه. Each one to his companion. So 5 people, 2 people, each one of them is making tafweed to the other. He's saying that my partner and all of these partners, any one of them can do whatever they want with whatever I have within the company. Not in the absolute sense, not in his family, money, and his home. No, just in the company. وهي أن يفوض كل إلى صاحبه كل تصرف مالي. Every تصرف مالي. تصرف, again, remember تصرف? Buying, selling, giving a gift. So they're both partners in a company, right? And there are 4 people, for example. So if one purchases something for the company, no problem. If someone gives a gift from the company, money, no problem. They all agree that each and every one of them, he has the right to deal with whatever money of each and every one of them within the company. أن يفوض كل إلى صاحبه كل تصرف مالي. Every تصرف, every financial تصرف, every financial transaction and dealing. ويشترك. And remember the word تصرف, it's not just dealing with the money, something that would have ahkam and rulings applied as a result of it. So if he sells something, that means the deals of, or the rulings of al-bay' and selling will apply. If he gives gift, the rules of giving a gift will apply. If he rents something, the rule of renting will apply. No. To delegate, actually, it's not accurate. Delegate is when you give someone the responsibility to do something, right? But at-tafweed is much stronger than this. At-tafweed, like when you say أفوض أمري إلى الله, that means what? I give all my affairs to Allah to deal with it, to run my affairs. So from a human to a human, when I delegate something, as far as I understand is, I say to you, for example, I delegate to you a certain job in the company. Can you do this on my behalf, or this is your responsibility? A tafweed is that we agreed to this. Now within the company, you can take whatever money I put and you go purchase something for the company without asking me, without me delegating this specific thing for you. You have the right initially to do whatever you want. Right? So you understand? Without coming back first to take permission. You don't have to take permission. It's already, the tafweed has been given in everything. Power of attorney in everything in the company. Yes. So each one of them, he has the power to deal with whatever financial responsibilities in the company. This is a dangerous one, of course, right? But that's one of the companies, or one of the ways to deal with things. And some, the tafweed in the absolute sense is not permissible, because even as stated, you would find in the books of fiqh that this is one of the worst haram for a person to do. Meaning that if you make tafweed, an endless tafweed, you say to someone, do whatever you want. So he goes, sells your house and sells your car and, divorce your wife. I mean, there's no such a thing. So, but again, this is only limited to the company. So two people or more are in a partnership. They have work and they have money and things like this. So it has to be known with the tasarruf al-mali. So the money that is in the company, the building of the company, thing all related to the company. So أن يفوض كل إلى صاحبه كل تصرف مالي within the sharika, within the partnership only, right? ويشترك, and they would be partners في كل ما يثبت لهما وعليهما. So they are partners in everything that comes for them. يثبت لهما, something that they would incur upon themselves or they profit or they make. وعليهما, and what's upon them, if there is debt and things like this. So they would all be partners in everything, because again each one has the tafweed, has the power to deal with others' money. فتصح إن لم يدخل فيهما كسبا نادرا. فتصح, that means this type of relationship or partnership is valid, is correct, but إن لم, unless إن لم يدخل, unless they enter in this partnership or this tafweed كسبا نادرا. Kasb is earning, نادرا rare. So something that is not part of the partnership, something nadir, that someone's name is nadir, that means he's rare. Someone, what's rare? Rare, right? Rare, yeah. Something not common. So, for example, one of the partners, he inherited, $1 million. That's not to do with the stuff with. This is his own personal money. So this is, otherwise it becomes, then this partnership becomes corrupted. So it's not about the things that are not, the things that are rare to the partnership. So if someone profited something from another company, that's the tafweed is not in that area. It's only in the area of the partnership. Or even very specific matters. If someone, as an example, if someone finds something in the company, luqata, find a piece of gold, right? Does it go to the company, or he has يعرفها, he has to make it known first. Then after a year, who owns it? The company, the partnership, or the guy that found it? The guy that found it, right? So this is kasban nadir. This is not something that is part of the business that is happening every day. So that's why they mentioned this clause here, to make sure that it's only, and mufawada is within the company and what the partners are doing for the company. The last statement here is وَكُلُّهَا جَائِزَةٌ. All of these types of companies or partnership is permissible. So جائزة means permissible and also something else, remember? It's not lazima. What's the difference between جائزة and lazima? Lazima is binding. You cannot break the contract of partnership. But جائزة means you can break the contract anytime you want. وكلها جائزة ولا ضمان فيها إلا بتعد أو تفريط. No ضمان in it. We took the ضمان. There's no liability upon the person except if he transgressed or he was negligent. So if people are partners together and one, he took the money of the company so that next day he put it in the bank or something and he lost the money. Who's responsible for it? He's not responsible. Unless he put it on the sidewalk. He was negligent. Or he did something bad. But if he took all the means and it wasn't his fault, something happened, then it's upon the company, not his individual responsibility. So this is always in the partnership. And this is, I'm not sure, some people might have issues with these types of things. People have partnership and one made a mistake. Who incurs the liability for it? The company, not the individual. Unless he did something bad or he was negligent and things like this. And that's why it's, this is what the partnership is. And when people, they work together and the partnership is established in the right way, this is one of the ways and means to achieve goodness, and people seek rewards from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the way they deal with others. And it's a good deed actually for someone to have a partnership but for them to fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you want to know a person, be a partner with him in money, you would see the real person. That's why if people do it for the sake of Allah and they, for the sake of earning and so on, but they fear Allah, this is one of the means to bless their companies actually. Right? And if, يعني the ulama mentioned this, okay, if you have the opportunity to be partnered with someone, right, when you don't even need it, but you do it, and both they have good intentions and they apply the rules of the deen of Allah. They're not greedy. They're not, doing anything haram. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless their work, bless this partnership because they're doing it like that for the sake of Allah. And that's because there's a hadith of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, and the thalithu sharikayn in sadaqa wa bayan. I'm the third of the partners, the third partner of the two, if they're truthful and they're making clear. So that means there's blessings here. If two people they get together to do a business, if they are truthful and if they make everything's clear, right? And everything is clear. That means what happens if wants to leave the company? No disputes. What people they get to do a company and they're both poor. Now the company becomes worth of millions. Now they're disputing and trying to kill each other. This is against what's supposed to be done. So if they're truthful and everything is clear and everything with decency and goodness, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless it for them. They're not cheating on one another, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless it for them. Let's read it and see if you understand every word, inshallah. From الثالث. Say, repeat after me, inshallah. شركة الوجوه وهي أن يشترك في ربح ما يشتريان في ذممهما في ذممهما. الذمة is one. ذمم is plural. ذممهما in the dhimma of both. Right? So ذممهما. Say ذممهما. ذممهما. بجاهيهما. It's all مثنى dual tense, that's why it's kind of difficult to say. بجاهيهما, with their جاه. بجاهيهما. وكل وكيل, no, I'm sorry, وكل وكيل الآخر. وكيل الآخر وكفيله بالثمن. الرابع شركة الأبدان وهي أن يشترك فيما يتملكان بأبدانهما من مباح كاصطياد ونحوه، أو يتقبلان في ذممهما من عمل كخياطة، فما تقبله أحدهما لزمهما عمله وطولب به، وإن ترك أحدهما العمل لعذر أو لا فالكسب بينهما، ويلزم من عذر أو لم يعرف العمل أن يقيم مقامه بطلب شريك. الخامس شركة المفاوضة، وهي أن يفوض كل إلى صاحبه كل تصرف مالي، ويشترك في كل ما يثبت لهما وعليهما، فتصح إن لم يدخل فيها كسبا نادرا، وكلها جائزة ولا ضمان فيها إلا بتعد أو تفريط. So if someone walks in and he reads this, he hears this, See how it's difficult to hear. Even in Arabic, if someone hears it, the mutun is not easy because the dama'ir and other things like this. But when you go word by word, this is a very good training linguistically also to understand every word and what all it means together. That's why someone has to clarify it for us. You have to listen to it from someone, and that's how it goes from one generation to the other, inshallah. So anything is not clear?
أن يقيم مقاما to put somebody else in his place.
Yes, and yuqim maqama. Al-maqam is the place, is the position. So yuqim, that's the verb, that he would bring someone in his position to do his work. Please? No. Sharikat al-Mufawada again is more general in the tafweed. I mean, each one in the partnership, he gives full power of attorney, how you say it, to everyone in the company. So everyone has the right to do whatever he wants with the money of the other person within the partnership. Money, possessions, items in the company, without going back and taking permission from one another. So they both have equal, as if the entire company, he owns it. Each one of them as if he's the full owner of the company. So he can sell the building, he can sell the equipment, he can purchase, he can do whatever he wants.
The money is spent on the movement of the company, like to the benefit of the company.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm a partner with them. I cannot go and spend all the money with the partner.
But I mean, yeah, in principle, he has the right to do whatever he wants with the money for the company, of course. Not that he would sell the truck and he take the money and he runs away. He's a no. Right. So it's all that the thing is that he has the power to deal with things without having to go back to any of them within the partnership, of course.
They may even have less portion of business, but they have the managing rights.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Others can work, but
And if someone has managerial rights, but is the partnership, not the workers, but the partnership, those who are partners, are they all with their working partners or with money and work? Different ways. If it's different ways, that's fine. But and actually, it's just to which type of a company that is. But yeah, it can be both with money, and they would have different responsibilities, and one of which is, so it's not sharikat mufawada. It's not each one has the absolute right. No.
شركة المفاوضة has conditions for the money and stuff.
No, it's a separate thing that can be applied to all of the different types of partnership. So one has more money, one has more effort, but they allow for each and every one of us of them to have the full power. Sometimes it's helpful for people to make it easy with their work and there's trust and things like this. Okay, Brother Samir is not here, so what's the hadith number? 143, inshallah. So hadith 143. 143. 143. Bismillah. You guys ready? Everybody's there? عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه قال قال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم كل سلام من الناس عليه صدقة كل يوم تطلع فيه الشمس تعدل بين اثنين صدقة وتعين الرجل في دابته فتحمله عليها أو ترفع له عليها متاعه صدقة. والكلمة الطيبة صدقة. وبكل خطوة تمشيها إلى الصلاة صدقة. وتميط الأذى عن الطريق صدقة. رواه البخاري ومسلم. So this is a beautiful hadith that talks about the different types of sadaqah that doesn't leave anyone except that he has chances to give sadaqah even if he doesn't have money. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Kullu sulama, every joint. Sulama is the joint in the body of the human being. He has upon himself to give sadaqah for every joint. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave you this body. You have to give charity every day for what Allah gave you for every joint on your body. This is like you're giving charity for the sake of Allah because of what Allah gave you for every joint. In other hadith, 365 joint every day. Like every day, there's lots of work to be done. This is what people go to work. The Muslim gets up in the morning. He has job to do to fulfill the 365 joints. Every joint has a sadaqah upon the person. Every day the sun rises, and that means every day, not just once in lifetime, once a week. So تعدل بين اثنين, you bring justice between two people, sadaqah. Two people that are in dispute, you bring justice between them. This is a charity, and of course this is a good deed. وتعين الرجل في دبته, and to help the man في دبته, when it comes to his dabba, his transportation, his animal, his car. What is that? فَتَحْمِلُ عَلَيْهَا. If someone is not able to ride over the horse, you help him to ride over his horse. Someone is difficult for him to get into his car. He has a wheelchair or something, then you help him to get into the car. أو ترفع له عليها متاع, or you lift up for him his belonging in the car. Someone has all kinds of grocery bags and things like this, and he's old, he's not able to do it, or he's able, doesn't matter. So you help that person to put his mata', his belonging in the car or on the animal, whatever. أو ترفع له عليها متاعه. This is sadaqah. This is not just good actions of the human beings. This is upon yourself. You have to look for these things because you have to give sadaqah for every joint. So this is sadaqah. وَالْكَلِمَةُ الطَّيِّبَةُ صَدَقَةٌ, and the good word, sadaqah. When you say a good word, a nice word, whether it's enjoining good, forbidding evil, dhikr, tasbih, tahleel, talking to people in a nice way, smiling and saying a nice word to someone, and so on. وَبِكُلِّ خُطْوَةٍ تَمْشِيهَا إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ صَدَقَةٌ, and every step that you walk to the salah is sadaqah. Every step you take. And وَتُمِيتُ الْأَذَى مِنَ الطَّرِيقِ صَدَقَةٌ, and to remove al-adha, harmful matter from the road, from the path of the people, sadaqah is charity. And the hadith doesn't mention that these are the only things to be done, but it shows any matter of goodness that a person would do every day. This is a sadaqah. That means, let's put it this way, we have at least 365 good deeds we have to do every day. Right? So this is just an example. And that's why with the dhikr of Allah, sometimes you don't have a choice to find these types of things. Where you can help someone, or two people have disputes, to go make peace between them. So that's why with the dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the tasbih and the tahleel and reading Quran and saying salam to one another, making the salah, the khutwat, all of that, inshallah ta'ala, will take care of it. And even more, as the hadith of the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, by the mercy of Allah, 2 rak'ah of al-duha تعدل ذلك كله, will be sufficient for all of this. If you pray 2 rak'ah of al-duha, will take care of the 365. So this is by the mercy of Allah, but it shows also this concern, this consciousness that a person is looking for good deeds and to prioritize things and to make sure that what is most important comes first and things like this. So it's Allah, ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide us to do the good deeds, inshallah. We'll stop here, inshallah, because of the time, and we'll continue If there's any questions, we have an attendance code. The attendance code, inshallah. It's easy, inshallah, as it said, so that you can have vocabulary training, inshallah. Are you ready? Al-Inan, whether it's in Arabic or in English, Al-Inan, Alinaan, Mudaraba, the way you wanna write it, right? So do they have to write it in that specific? Anything. Mudaraba, Al-Wujuh, Al-Abdan. So we missed one, which is Al-Mufawada. Right? That's good. So only 4 types of Sharika. There's a question here. Is it possible for all these categories to happen in the business where they start with one partnership and as the business grows, the partnerships changed with more people added, but it's still for one business? Yes. And again, this is just a way to, it doesn't have to be one type and not the other. So more than one, and actually all of the different chapters of transactions can be involved. The daman is there, the wakala is there, the kafala is there. They're all together. So yes, as long as everything is defined and the liability is defined and all things are very clear. As we said, in the contracts of partnership, of course, they do that because sometimes people, they don't have honesty and so on. But for a Muslim with the honesty and everything, still the way to enter the partnership, the way to leave the partnership, everything has to be made clear, and it can be more than one type of sharika at the same time. Second question of partnership, is it if in the contract they say each person is responsible for their work, is it still a shared responsibility? Yes, each person is responsible for his work, and at the end they share the profit according to the percentages that they agreed upon in the beginning. Right? So if they are partners and one get 5%, one get 10%, one get 90%, doesn't matter. So whatever percentages that are upon, and then they would, everyone has his own part of the job. With the profit, it will be distributed according to what they agreed of the percentage. And they can change that down the road, that's fine also. All of that is there, inshallah. So, one last question, inshallah. Go ahead. How about the selling of lunches and Fridays or for fundraising for the masjid? You mean selling in the masjid? Selling in the masjid is not permissible, whether it's for the masjid or for a personal profit. Buying and selling is forbidden in the masjid. Right? So this is as the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. So selling things for the masjid, in the masjid, is not permissible. If it's outside the masjid, that's fine. If it's a donation, that's not buying and selling. Right? You put a sign, take food and please donate for the masjid. Something, it's not buying and selling. But buying and selling, whether it's for the masjid or for an individual, this is not permissible. Allah regarding the use of credit card to donate to masjid, which is easy and common these days, how do we navigate this? Inshallah, we can talk about that next time, inshallah, because of the time. Otherwise, we won't say it in the most comprehensive way because it has details to it, and someone might misunderstand it, inshallah. So we'll stop here, inshallah ta'ala, because of the